Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders across North Carolina. Craft beer reform passed the state Senate and went to the governor's desk this week, signaling a truce between the longstanding fight between the beer and wine distributors and the craft brewers in North Carolina. So there's another ABC fight brewing in the General Assembly that would allow retailers to sell hard liquor, like at your drugstores and food stores. Becki, will that legislation advance, and where do you stand on that type of reform?
Well, I think the reform's a great idea. I don't know why in the world state government is in the liquor business, and I don't know why there are rules allowed that the wholesalers are able to keep craft breweries at such a reduced rate and be an impediment for them to grow their business. You know, this is not really even about alcohol. It's about opportunity and freeing up markets for for businesses to grow. The big ABC bill that is sponsored by Representative Chuck McGrady, that would, as you mentioned, it would give licenses to places that already sell beer and wine and just allow them to get licenses and permits to sell liquor in those places. Still, all of the enforcement laws are in place. The ALE actually would be strengthened under some of these. So it's a very simple move in a lot of ways, but as many things with state government, there's a lot of revenue that exchanges hands. You know, many of these cases it comes down to money. North Carolina's a high-tax state, aren't we? I mean, when it comes to alcohol, hard liquor in particular. Yes, yes, and a lot of inequity in the taxing system between beer is taxed differently than wine is. We had a bill this week, hard cider, which is made from apples, and if there's one thing we have a lot of in North Carolina, it's apples. Hard cider is taxed at another rate. So there's a lot of questions with this, but we had, as you mentioned, the craft beer and distribution bill that passed, waiting for the governor to sign it. The big ABC bill is over here, but in the meantime, there's lots of other smaller ABC reforms that are getting a lot of attention and are moving through the General Assembly. So I don't know whether we'll get the big reform in place, but meanwhile we're getting a lot of these smaller things that just aligns things in ways so that the craft brewers can grow, the craft distillers can grow, and there's more opportunity for North Carolinians to engage in entrepreneurial activity and create jobs and revenue.
Howard Lee, the state AB system was developed after Prohibition, and the sole purpose was to limit access to it and to tax it heavily. Are we at a point in our society today where we need to reform it?
Personally, I don't think so. I have a divided opinion on this. I think certainly beer, craft beer, and that industry deserves a lot of flexibility, and certainly I support the improvements and expansion of that. I don't think alcohol should be easily accessible, because I think when I go to the grocery store and see all of the wine there and people picking it up by the bottles, I recognize that most of the folk drinking wine probably will do it at home on dinner and so forth. But hard liquor, for me, is where I draw the line. I just don't think people should be able to walk in the drugstore and pick up a bottle of liquor. I'm really concerned that the more people have access, the more they will drink. The more they drink, the more they will drive. And the more they drive, I can see the increase of accidental deaths occurring. So I'm opposed to putting it in grocery stores, and I'm opposed to making it easy. I do agree that the state probably should be out of the liquor business, and I grew up in Georgia where there are private alcohol stores, and certainly that has not done a great deal of damage to Georgia. But on the other hand, I don't think people should be able to just walk around the corner and pick it up. They can certainly have to make an effort to go get a bottle of liquor.
And there's always the debate about the morality of it. If you think this fight's interesting, wait until we get to debating legalized cannabis. Thank you for watching the Afterspin. More video all during the week on ncspin.com.